Welcome back. This time I decided to expand one of the most common Honeycomb 2x2 starter bases in Rust. It comes with a new type of push-through bunker I haven't used yet on this channel, which I saw being used by blue bubs. 4 separated Widegap shooting floors look over the base in all directions. These come with petricos and ramp door peaks. Not only this, but this base ensures a minimum of 3 walls to the center 2x2. Optional farm plots and large furnaces can be added alongside 360-degree compound turret cover. Pair this with 4 flank external meta TCs that are all bunkered with hidden loot, making this 2x2 expansion super effective. Along with a manageable upkeep, this is great for solos, duos or trios. Starting off the tour, we show off this external TC. There are 4 of them on this base and all come with flank respawn peaks. To disconnect each of the external TCs in order to replace the center TC, we disconnect it like so, and then it can be simply reconnected by placing the frames again. The flank respawn area is protected by a garage door and single door, and then we have a socket override bunker through this single door. The boxes can be used for your respawn kits. You'll be able to get some decent angles outside the compound as well as on top of the base. By placing a twig ramp here, you will be able to open the bunker. This reveals some hidden loot storage, your large battery and TC. Here is the upkeep of each external TC. There are 4 of them on this base. To reseal this bunker, you simply place twig and then upgrade it. On each of the 4 sides we have an airlock to get outside the compound. Within this airlock is a ladder hatch that gives access to each of the shooting floors. There is also an optional place for a farm plot, as well as these wide gap peaks to retake the compound before you advance. Both of these double doors open outwards to airlock the single door even further, as well as windows that give vision outside the compound. You can also shoot up at the back of the base from this area. By opening this ladder hatch, you can actually airlock the outside door even further, in case of a door raid. Jumping up here, we can access one of our turrets, as well as shoot into the compound quickly in case we just respawned outside. You'll notice that you can also shoot on top of each of the shooting floors. Coming up further, we enter our respawn room. This can be replaced with 2 beds if you'd prefer, and by opening this double door here, you'll gain access to one of the wide gaps. This allows you to shoot outside the compound as well as back on top of the 2x2 base. You'll find some petrico peaks that you can use at many differing angles, as well as being able to clear the top of the base. By jumping on top of the square frame, you actually get a decent head peek over these double doors. And also you can of course close the double door to get even more angles. Heading back down into the base, we can drop quickly through the ladder hatches. On each of the 4 sides of the compound, which is separated, you can place large furnaces. This 2x2 core is honeycombed with 3 layers, and the outer side as well as on top of the 2x2 is covered by these 4 turrets on each side. We also find 3 fake entrances. One of these entrances is the actual route to the inner core, but as you can see, raiders will have to guess the correct route. You can place optional farm plot areas, extra loot storage or mixing tables. It's completely up to you what you put inside the spare squares. Coming around to the real entrance, we can enter it through this single door and double door. This double door will airlock the single doors as well. This is a completely vanilla 2x2 with an airlock. However, by adding a ramp later on into the wipe as well as a floor above, we can create a push through bunker. By opening the outside door, you will be able to be pushed through into this area. I have checked this on a vanilla server and it's not just the build server that works. You can then open the double door inside, which pushes you back through the other way. However, I'd like to show sometimes you get stuck like this, but all you need to do is close the other door. I would say it's about a 50-50 chance whether you get it correct or not, and this does depend on the skins that you upgrade to. I know that HQM is a lot harder if you do upgrade everything to HQM. A fireplace or sleeping bag inside the airlock helps you push through into the gap. Above this ramp entrance we have extra storage such as the repair bench and large boxes. You will also find other deployables here as well. Then we have a very simple 2x2 layout. You can of course customize this to however you like, maybe add some more drop boxes and more storage. Here is the upkeep of the main TC. As you can see, the honeycomb on top of the base is using 2 ramp layers, one metal, one stone, and then HQM. So to start off the build, if you don't already know, this is how you make a simple 2x2. You can place the square with your TC just to claim your build spot, which doesn't require many materials at all. You can then quickly expand this 1x1 into your 2x2 with an airlock. Of course, when placing the TC, you want to place it in the left hand side corner facing this direction. It is extremely strict when placing the TC, so make sure it's right in the corner. You then want to expand like this, adding an airlock on the left hand side, facing to the left as well. The inside of the base should curve round like this, and of course upgrade. Then place your outside door facing inwards to create an airlock. You can then add frames here as well. However, the frame next to the single door should not be placed until you've placed a shelf inside the TC. This twig square shelf that I just deleted will actually be added later in the build to create our bunker, but for now, just for ease of access, you can leave it open like this, and then you can add your double door frame. Ensure the double door opens outwards. This will ensure that the bunker works as well later. Now we will quickly expand our 2x2, honeycombing it on all sides. All of this honeycomb will be upgraded to metal at a later stage. For the sake of the build video, I will just upgrade to the final level. On the side of the entrance, you want to honeycomb this triangle on the right hand side, and then you want to honeycomb the rest of the base. It's totally up to you if you want to add the walls inside this honeycomb. All this does is prevent splash damage between the two walls once they breach the metal wall. It does reduce cost by not including these. You can actually leave them as stone inside if you'd like. Then you want to add a double door entrance facing outwards like so. This is what you should be left with. I recommend once you get to the stage that you add the fake entrances early on into the wipe, as the only way of getting raided really at this stage is through doors. But for now, of course, you should just add an extra airlock entrance. Then when you're ready, you can add these single doors here and add full walls. However, when adding the single doors, make sure they don't have any windows on them so the raiders can't just look through the window and see if it's the entrance or not. So you want to replace all the doors with the same skin, or you can do different, it's up to you. But I wouldn't recommend having one skin just for the entrance. So it should look like this at this stage, and then we'll honeycomb the roof with simple ramps. But before we do this, we want to upgrade the roof to HQM. You can access this from inside, so you can do this later if you'd like. Then you want to add walls in the middle, upgraded to metal. And then add square roofs on every single side. This is what it should look like. Now we will add another layer of honeycomb. We do this by adding a ring of half walls all the way around the base. Should look like this. We will then expand off this using triangle floors like so. And then off these we will add square ramps again. And then we'll honeycomb the side walls as well, using this triangle and square ramp method. And then repeat this on the other sides as well. Once you've got your Honeycomb 2x2, we will now Widegap and do our external TCs, shooting floor and compound. You want to build out by 3 twig squares, come back with a half moon, and then you'll place your final triangle. You can then demolish the twig build out and build like this. Build off a square on each side and then a final triangle. It should look like this. You then want to upgrade each of these triangles to metal. Right now all of this is decaying, so we must connect it to an external TC. Note that symmetry is on, so you must repeat this on all sides. Build out by 1 triangle, 3 squares, and then you can upgrade the 2 final squares like this. Then we will do our bunkered meta TC. Place these triangle foundations like so and delete the middle one. You then want to upgrade the foundation on the right hand side and do 2 half walls, and then a floor on top, and then a frame off this floor, and then you want to raise the foundation on the right hand side. Then you can place a foundation inside the frame once you place the frame and upgrade it to HQM. Then simply wall in the back area like so, adding a floor above as well. And then 2 half walls should be upgraded that are floating. Then you can add a stone floor and a single frame to seal this area in. This is a way to quickly seal your bunker without completing the flank TC. I then recommend checking that your bunker works by placing twig first and then place the ramp like so and it should open. You can then go ahead and add your TCs. We will now connect it to the rest of the base. Place a solid floor and then you want to add frames, but before you'll be able to connect this you have to add the half walls next to the airlocked entrance. You also need to complete the frame on top of this airlocked entrance. This is where our ladder hatch will be. However, at this stage you can just add a wood floor and then hatch it out later if you'd like. What I find more convenient about this, by adding the frame straight away, is that you can just add 1 single door instead of 2 just while you find the ladder hatch. For the sake of the build video, I will just add it now. So you can just leave it like this if you don't have a ladder hatch yet, or you're waiting to craft one. You then want to put frames on either side and then single doors off these. Add floors on top like so, and then add windows and doors. This is what it should look like at this stage. Now we will complete our meta TCs. You can do this at a later stage if you prefer, but I do recommend adding these ramps here to increase the soft side raid cost. When adding the double door frame inside, you must make sure it's on the right hand side. Do not place any frame on the left hand side next to the window, otherwise you will not be able to open the bunker. Now we will complete our shooting floor. On each of the 4 sides you want to expand like so, adding 4 walls on either side of the ladder hatch, and then a window frame facing inwards. Before placing the final wall leading upwards, you must add a half wall and then a frame on top for your other ladder hatch. Then on top of this you will add 4 walls and then a double door entrance. You then want to expand by frames upwards and upgrade these to metal. You want to add a floor on top, this protects the turret, as well as a frame in front on the other side of the wide gap. Then expand frames off the main TC like so, and then a floor on top like this. You can then upgrade the half wall just below, add a double door frame and then a single door frame on top. This will create a half wall effect in the shooting floor. Then you want to add a square frame as well as a ramp. Before completing the compound, we must add a half wall and then a triangle floor on top. This protects the turret from the outside of the compound. You then want to add chain link on either side as well as a gate to access your turret. You don't actually need the gate in front of this turret, as you could access it through the single embrasure in front of it. Now add twig build out so you can place the two barricades on either side. Then you want to add barricades on top of the shooting floor as well to prevent people camping. We will now complete the compound by placing the walls. The wall placement is quite simple for this base. You simply place two on either side. By placing the shift key, it is easier to place this wall instead of it snapping and leaning upwards. As you can see here, I haven't aced it, so you can simply demolish the wall and try again. Then feel free to add deployables inside the compound. With the electrical supply, it's completely up to you what you do. There is enough space for 4 windmills if you'd like, but considering the lack of turrets, you don't really need this much electrical power, so maybe solar panels would be a better option. I will now show you how to place the deployables inside the external TCs, as this placement is quite strict. After this, I will show you how to add the bunker into the 2x2. Inside 3 of the fake entrances, as previously mentioned, you can add farm plots, respawn areas with lockers, or anything you'd like inside this area. Coming around to the rear entrance, this is how we will add our door bunker. Sometimes taking off the door will make it easier to place the floors, but you can place it from the airlock as well. Simply place a full floor and upgrade it to metal, and then a ramp inside. But before placing the ramp, I recommend placing a sleeping bag in this configuration, or a campfire. This will help you when you get pushed through. You want to also upgrade the inner core to HQM and metal in this configuration. Make sure you upgrade the foundation below the TC. I will now run through the rest of the deployables. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing and liking down below, it is greatly appreciated.